Sup, dude? There have been countless super talented dynamic duos over the course of the NBA's existence. Mike and Pippen, Steph and Clay, Magic and Kareem, Rodman and Kim Jong-un, but the one that I'll be focusing on in this video is the greatest 1-2 punch in NBA history. Kobe Bean Bryant and Shaq Diesel. During the summer of 1996, the Lakers traded for a 17-year-old Kobe Bryant and signed Shaq, who was fresh off getting swept in the finals. Shaq wanted to win as soon as possible because he was sick of losing in the playoffs, but since Kobe was so young, Shaq would be forced to wait a little longer. The duo made the playoffs their first 3 years together, making it as far as the Western Conference Finals in 1998. Shaq was insanely dominant, averaging 28 points and 11 rebounds during those 3 playoff runs, while Kobe was still learning the ropes. Kobe averaged just 8 points in his first 2 playoff runs, and that made Shaq angry, because like I said earlier, he really wanted to win. Around this time, the two would begin to despise each other, forming one of the most popular beefs ever. Kobe thought Shaq was a lazy fat ass, and Shaq thought Kobe was a selfish piece of shit. The beef escalated quite a bit before the 1998 season. During the lockout, Shaq and Kobe were playing pickup, and Shaq was calling a lot of fouls, leading to the two getting very angry with each other and starting to talk trash. Kobe told Shaq, "I'm tired of this shit. Just play." Shaq then said, "One more comment like that, and I'll slap the shit out of you." A few possessions later, Kobe drove toward the rim and made a layup, which prompted him to say, "F*** you to Shaq, this is my team, my motherfucking team." Shaq wasn't having it, and he screamed, "No motherfucker, this is my team." Kobe then said, "Fuck you, seriously, fuck you, you're not a leader, you're nothing." Shaq responded with, "I will get your ass traded, not a problem." Then Kobe went to the basket again, scored, and screamed at Shaq, "Yeah, motherfucker, that shit ain't gonna stop me." Shaq then said, "Say another motherfucking word." Kobe then began to say, "F you" again, but Shaq was already wound up and smacked him right in the face. I don't know what it's like to get slapped by a 7-foot, 320-pound ogre, but I'm sure it didn't feel nice. I'm glad Kobe was able to survive, because I know if I got slapped by Shaq, I would literally die. Moving on to this season, Kobe was able to push his scoring to 20 points per game and was on the brink of stardom. They got swept in the 1999 playoffs, but it didn't really matter because they were about to take over the league. In the 99 and 2000 season, Shaq dominated, averaging 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game, winning MVP, while Kobe was able to improve even more, averaging 22.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. They led the Lakers to an incredible 67-15 record, good for best in the league. In the first round of the playoffs, they beat the Kings 3-2. In the second round, they beat the Suns 4-1. And in the Western Conference Finals, they managed to pull off one of the greatest comebacks ever to win the series in Game 7 against Portland. Going into the fourth quarter, the Trailblazers had a 13-point lead, and it was looking like LA was going to lose. But then Portland decided their fourth quarter strategy would be to miss everything and play really bad. They went 7.5 minutes without scoring, missing 13 shots in a row. Meanwhile, Kobe and Shaq were putting on a show, throwing lobs and such. They managed to score over half the Lakers' points in the fourth quarter. At the end of the fourth, Portland had been outscored 31-13 and lost 89-84. Sorry, Trailblazers fans, if you guys exist. At least Dame had 71 the other night. LA then moved on to the finals to play Reggie Miller and the Pacers. Shaq gave them nightmares, averaging close to 40 points, 17 rebounds, and 3 blocks a night. Kobe ended up spraining his ankle in Game 2 after just 9 minutes and did not return until Game 4. In that game, the Black Mamba played 47 minutes, scoring an efficient 28 points, leading the Lakers to an OT win to take the 3-1 lead. After that win, the series was basically over. The Pacers ended up winning Game 5, but the Lakers came out on top, winning Game 6 and the series with Shaq as Finals MVP. You would think that since the two won a championship together, their hatred for each other would fade a little, but no, the beef got hotter. Shaq hated Kobe with a passion. He hated him so much that during the 2000-2001 season, after a blowout win against the Suns where Kobe scored 38 points, he asked to be traded. Despite the beef, the Lakers finished second in the West. Kobe had his best season yet, averaging 28.5 points, while Shaq averaged 28.7. In the playoffs, the two knuckleheads put their differences aside and obliterated everyone in their path, going 15-1, winning back-to-back rings. Their record of 15-1 is the second best playoff record ever, behind the 2017 Warriors, who went 16-1. Also, Shaq won Finals MVP again. The following season, the Lakers continued their dominance, winning 58 games and clinching the 3rd seed. In the playoffs, they breezed their way through to the Western Conference Finals, where they played the Sacramento Kings. To quote Shaq, we're not worried about the Sacramento Queens. Well, they should have been a bit worried because that series went to 7 games. By game 6, the Kings were up 3-2, but what they didn't know is that they were about to get raw dogged by the refs. In game 6, the Lakers shot 40 free throws to the Kings 25, with 27 of those 40 coming in the fourth. A little suspicious, right? The Kings were getting completely screwed over. A ton of the calls against Sacramento were complete BS.
Ever has a great block on this ball. I'm not sure where any foul.
And the Lakers ended up winning by 3 and then went on to win the series. It doesn't matter what your opinion is on whether or not the Lakers deserved to win, because the fact is they didn't. The refs were on their knees for LA. Sacramento should have been lighting the beam in the finals, but sadly, they got the poop end of the stick. The Lakers swept New Jersey in the finals, Shaq won finals MVP for the 3rd year, and LA completed the three-peat. Did Shaq carry Kobe? I don't know. This was ultimately the conclusion of the Shaq and Kobe duo, because the next season they lost in the conference semifinals against the Spurs, and the year after that they got destroyed in the finals by the Pistons. This was most certainly because their beef just kept getting worse and worse, and finally in 2004 Shaq got traded to the Heat. If the two were cool with each other, I'm sure they would have won a few more rings, but they weren't, so I guess we'll never know. Specifically, I don't know when they resolved their beef, but they did eventually, and Shaq was even a major speaker at Kobe's funeral. So I guess the story had a happy ending. That's the video. Sign up for PrizePicks using code NBAGoober to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. And click right there to watch the video I made about Hakeem. It's the best video you'll ever see. And also, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.